This comet is what we call a planet killer.
Hello friends, my name is Stevie Cade and welcome to Film Trigger. So there's a movie called Don't Look Up that's on Netflix right now, and it's kind of went under my radar. I didn't even know it was on Netflix. Like I saw a trailer for it and I was like, oh, that's a movie that's going to come out, you know, way in the future. No, it's on Netflix right now. But before we dive into this, you'll see a little thumbs up button and a subscribe button down below. Yeah, fuck those buttons. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. They're assholes. They think they run the channel, but they don't. I run the channel. Little shits. But let's dive into my spoiler review of Don't Look Up.
My head is in a bag!
Before I actually dive into what I like about this movie, I did want to give a quick honorable mention to Carl Sagan. Yes, he got a couple of nods in this movie, and I am a Carl Saganite. I love the man. And they had a little Sagan bobblehead. Out, which I want. Anyway, Pale Blue Dot, that's my Bible. It's a great read, or if you don't like to actually read, it is an audiobook as well, read by Carl Sagan and his wife. It's a beautiful book. Check it out sometime. Now, let's dive into what I like about this crazy-ass movie. This can go without saying. This is a star-studded cast. This is one of those ensembles that just brings everybody together for a fairly quirky movie, which this is. Fucking quirky, but damn, the actors in this. I had to write them all down. I did. Like, I couldn't remember all these. You got Leonardo DiCaprio. I almost said Lawrence Fishburne. Jennifer Lawrence. Timothy Chalamet. Meryl Streep. Jonah Hill. Kate Blanchett. Tyler Perry. Ron Perlman. And even Matthew Perry's in this movie, which I didn't recognize him in this movie. Like, I didn't see him. I just read this off the cast list. And Gina Gershall. Gershall? Is that her name? Yeah, both of these people were in this movie, and I have to watch it again because totally didn't catch it. I did catch Chris Evans, and that was a fun cameo. This movie's fun, that's for sure. It's actually another thing that I do like about this movie. This movie is a fun, quirky movie, but done in a very emotional and detrimental overtone.
At this exact moment, I say we sit tight and assess.
Sit tight and assess?
Sit tight.
And then assess.
It's about the end of the world, which is, that's a detrimental overtone for sure, probably the most detrimentalist overtone. It was a mixed bag, which I thought meshed very well. I didn't realize that it meshed very well until the end of the movie, which we'll dive into its pacing a little later on in this review, but overall, it's pretty ballsy what they did. They really put all the emotions in here, which sounds like it could be a negative. Maybe it is a negative. There's a lot to unpack in this movie. I just got done watching this thing 15 minutes ago, so my first thought was, oh, it makes sense to me now. Again, we're just going to have to talk more about that later in this review, but it was definitely a fun movie, if not anything else. The global divide of governmental involvement in a situation like this. What is right for everybody, and who is to say what's right for everybody? This movie, intentionally or not intentionally, does have a major, COVID throwback with this global pandemic we've been going through. What's right? What's wrong? Who's right? Who's wrong? Wear the mask. Don't wear the mask. Get the shot. Don't get the shot. It's very mirroring in that sort of light. And this movie plays very heavy into the government, well, pretty much preying on the middle class. The elite and the government are evil. They're selfish, and they will sacrifice anybody and everybody for the slight prospect that it could be profitable.
This comet contains $30 trillion worth of material.
What do trillions of dollars matter if we're all gonna die?
That would be terrible!
And how do they get away with this? Well, this movie does a great job illustrating you get away with it by causing a divide. Just look up. You can see the comet. It's coming. Don't look up. They're madmen. Don't look up. Don't look up there. Keep your head down to the ground level where life is real. This is how they divided these people. It was very eerie just how similar it is to this whole, COVID thing. I'm not going to try to dive into the real life politics of COVID. What you believe and what you feel, that's all on you. So my opinion is neither here nor there. But I did think this movie had a narrative, and it definitely was expressing how deceived people can be. This movie also expresses the corruption of the innocent by showering them with compliments and giving them attention and making them feel special. This is more specific with Randall Mendy, which is Leonardo DiCaprio's character. He has such a good arc in this movie. His main goal was to save the planet, and then he got corrupted. And, and his arc came back full circle, by the end of the movie. But, that was a fun journey to watch. It was a very organic journey. It didn't seem forced in there. It made sense for this loner, introverted scientist. He got thrown into the mix, and all of a sudden he's getting all the glory and all the spotlight and getting all the attention, and that really makes him feel special. And he just rides that wave while it lasts, while everything around him is starting to demolish. It's being ruined by flattery. But then you have the other end of the spectrum, which is Jennifer Lawrence's character. I'm going to mess up this name, Kate Biaski, something like that. They named the fucking comet after her, but I can't remember the name. Her character represents the abandonment of somebody who clearly speaks their mind and doesn't give in to challenge or pushback.
100% chance to die!
Hey,
Well, the handsome astronomer can come back anytime, but the yelling lady, not so much.
And it's crazy because they used social media to make this happen, to create hate, love, panic, and subduity. You want to get a message out there, you want the people to believe one thing or another, put it on social media and create the narrative yourself. People will believe you, or it'll go back and forth, and then once again you'll have that global divide. I'm right, you're wrong, blah, 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 blah. Then the whole world is biting each other's faces off, while the puppeteers in the background are just playing us like fools. The ending to this movie is devastatingly beautiful. Everybody gets what they deserve. It has a humbleness and a poetic justice to it. But somehow this movie managed to make the worst thing possible balanced. It was a win-win and a lose-lose and a win-lose situation, all wrapped up into one fucked up world-ending event. But I did like the point they were trying to get across about just being happy with what you have, the simplistic things, family, friends, meals, communication without our faces being in our phone all the time. I ironically illustrate as I'm speaking to a camera by myself to lots of people. Or maybe not lots, a few friends. Hi, Aaron. Now, moving right along with some things that I'm on the fence about, and some of these things I had talked about earlier, but it's really hard for me to digest what I'm on the fence when I don't like, because they all kind of mix all together in my head right now. The tone was all over the place, but by the end of the movie, it made sense why it was all over the place. That also goes with its editing, how this movie just had these quick clips of random edits throughout the entire movie, that by the end of the movie, it makes sense. Starting to notice a pattern here. Same with the comedy. As I said, some of the comedy was really funny. I belly laughed through some of this stuff. But then, other parts of the comedy seemed just way overdone, way too slapsticky, way too, okay, same joke again. We get it. They made you pay for the water and the chips when they were free. I got it. Which makes me concerned about its rewatchability, but also very curious about its rewatchability. Right now, I have no idea how well it's going to do when I go to rewatch this movie again. And I do want to rewatch it. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not like it. I don't know. And on top of that, its runtime was a little bit long. It's coming in just over 2 hours long. And I feel like there was a lot that could have been put on this cutting room floor to condense that down. Would have probably taken care of some of my tonal issues and my editing issues as well. Now let's talk about things that I don't like. And I really only have a couple. It's actually kind of just one long one, I guess. The entire premise of the movie is people not believing credible scientists, which doesn't seem so far-fetched. But in this movie, it is very far-fetched because they're credible scientists. They come in, they say what they have to say, and nobody believes them. And then when the government steps in and says, you know what? We're having trouble in office. We want to get reelected. So, yeah, let's pick up this project. Okay, now everybody knows the world's going to end. When the elite and the government seems to find a way to make this world-ending event profitable, then we're back to not believing the scientists. It's a lot of suspension of disbelief that humans are that dumb. And maybe I'm just a little forgiving of people, maybe. But I have hope that humanity is not completely that dumb to flop back and forth. As the words are coming out of my mouth, I'm not so sure that I'm right. But it goes back to the just look up or don't look up concept, the way that they divide these people. And there's that one moment in the Don't Look Up campaign where the guy looks up, one of the Don't Look Up people look up, and they see the comet and they're like, well, hey, They lied to us. The comet's right there. Are you telling me that no one looked up this entire fucking time? Like, if you're a part of that Don't Look Up campaign, like, that was literal? People didn't look up except for that one hillbilly? I can't believe that. That doesn't make any sense. And see the comet, like, for days in the sky. It's again, suspension of disbelief. I didn't buy it. Got the story moving forward, but no good for me. Overall, I'm not exactly sure what to think. This is one of those movies, and it doesn't happen to me very often, where I'm not sure what to think by the end of it. Like, I might rewatch this movie and absolutely love it. Or I might rewatch this movie and absolutely just be like, oh God, why did I even like it a little bit? My first reaction is this movie was fun, but a little bit of a roller coaster emotionally through it. Like, I didn't quite know how to feel sometimes. It's like, oh man, that's hilarious. Oh, that's sad. It was such an extreme of one way or the other, plus the quick edits, plus sometimes slapstick comedy, plus the tone change constantly in and out. Again, watching the movie, it made it a little exhausting, but by the end of it, I was like, oh yeah, I get it now. It all makes sense. So maybe its rewatchability will be awesome. Or maybe I'll pick this apart even more. I'm not exactly sure. So for all these reasons, as of my first watch, I'm giving this movie just a C.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I think it's safe. A C? Yeah? Well, are you into satire movies like this? And if so, how did this one land for you? Check out some more of my videos, and as always, stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.
You guys discovered a comet? I have a tattoo of a shooting star on my back.
Oh, that's terrific.